And guys that are joining, thanks for joining. If you've got any questions, please use the question box to kind of put the questions in, so it's just easier for us to kind of manage it rather than scrolling through the chat to kind of work out where the questions are at.
Where's the question box?
Yeah, what is the question box?
Where's the question box?
So basically, when I don't know if you guys can see it, but when you want to ask a question, there's like a question mark thing.
We can't see that.
You can type the question in there, and it goes into there, and then that way I can just click on it. It'll pop up on the screen, and then it's just easier for both of us to read the question as well.
Do we get to see the question too?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is amazing.
So yeah, I'm guessing. I'm sure you guys done a few lives now, so you must have seen the question box pop up.
No, we did one on Friday, which you were obviously on.
One.
Yeah, but the first one didn't really work very well.
Anyway, this is our
practice run, and then we had one on Friday with Spot the Day for Devinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is our second one in a very short space of time. So we hope that we're not going to bore people.
No, so today's ones, I think that was more, I think you guys want to showcase a bit of HMO, some good bits and bad bits, or what things people can do, a bit of a journey as well. So this will be kind of a quick intro to each other, and then we'll kind of go into Q&A session and kind of ask anybody to kind of, who's got any questions around property investing, and then we'll kind of give our opinions on how to tackle the question, basically.
Cool. Okay.
So if you guys want to quickly just introduce yourselves, who you are, what you've done, and then we'll go from there, and I'll introduce myself, and then we'll go to Q&A.
Okay, I'm Priya, this is Jasmine. We are the Hard Hat developers. We started working together in 2018. I got made redundant from a career in investment banking for 7 years and kind of started to build my property portfolio. I was introduced to Jasmine fairly on into my property journey through her other half, who happened to be my best friend, but we didn't actually really know each other too well. So at first I was like, oh no, I don't really want to meet her. I'm not really too friendly, like it's fine. And then realized that going into property, it was quite lonely and I didn't have very many people to talk to or kind of bounce ideas off. And that's what I missed being corporate. I came from a team of like 90 people to just myself. So met Jasmine and then we kind of just got on quite well. And we both discovered that we both were interested in commercial conversions predominantly. So we started to kind of do some peer-to-peer learning together. And from that, we developed the Hard Hat developers. And Jasmine, you can do yourself.
And then I just started when I was 19. I bought my house at university, and then I rented it out, I lived in it, and then I just kind of continued buying on the side since I was 19, not like full-time, and then I went full-time in property in 2016, and then joined forces with Priya in 2018.
No, good. And just for like to kind of give guys who are online who probably don't know who you are, where do you guys currently invest? Like what areas of the country? Kind of give an overview of where you currently invest in.
We invest all over England we're based in London, but we invest in Middlesbrough, Stoke, Leeds, Birmingham, Barnsley, Sheffield,
Liverpool, Middlesbrough, Eastbourne, Plymouth, Portsmouth, London.
I don't even know how you guys are still able to keep saying those.
Yeah, I'm sure we miss something out every single time, but we're in and around.
Yeah.
No, good. So as you guys can see,
our strategies. Did you say you want to know what we do? We do.
Yeah, I'll touch on that. Yeah, quickly touch on that as well. Yeah, what kind of?
We do buy-to-let, social housing.
I think it's actually easier to say what we don't do. I think this is something we should try.
Oh yeah.
We don't do rent-to-rent, and we don't do serviced accommodation
yet.
And
we're not going to do rent-to-rent. So.
Yeah, rent-to-rent's not for us, but we're looking to maybe do SA on one of our projects.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then new builds as well. Have you guys stepped into that yet, or you just have?
We're looking,
yeah.
But it's not something we've had experience on yet.
Yeah.
But we're definitely open to it.
Cool. And then I'll quickly introduce myself. So for anybody who doesn't know who I am, my name is Alfred. I'm based in the West Midlands. I am originally from London too, but kind of coming out of university into the corporate world, I've kind of based myself up here in the West Midlands, and I currently mainly invest in HMOs. I take properties wherever I can convert them into luxury HMOs and then rent them out to either professionals or students. And at the moment, that's the main sole strategy I'm kind of focusing on for the time being. I might look to do other things in the future, but at the moment, for me, HMOs is where I want to focus my energy on. So, all right. So there's a few questions that's come in. And we'll quickly try and go through it. So I think there's one directed to you guys.
Okay.
So it says, is that Isra? I don't know how you say. I don't know how you say that name, but yeah. How is the HMO in Warsaw going?
HMO in Warsaw?
Yeah.
So just a disclaimer, everything you see on our Instagram is our projects, but maybe pre-social media days, if that makes sense. So we're just reporting on them now. So the project in Warsaw, we actually sold...
Not everything. Because
not everything, but some of
it is, yeah.
Because we never had social media until March 2020. Yeah. So the Warsaw project, which was known as Jerome Chambers, we actually sold in December as an investment property.
Yeah.
So it went pretty well.
Yeah, sorry. Is that sorry?
Someone.
So what we did, we bought it. We got. Let me summarize. We bought it. We got planning on it. We did the build works. We then rented it. Then we let it for a period of 1 year to kind of gain income and be known as a successful passive income gaining asset. And then we sold it.
Fair enough. We've got another one from, I don't know, AY Finance. How long did it take to save up for your first deposit, and what percentage deposit is good for an investment property?
I mean, that is like, how long is a piece of string, isn't it, really? You can't...
It's very personal dependent as well.
So how long did it take you to save up?
I was a contractor in investment banking, so I purchased my first few with cash, predominantly savings over 6 years.
And I didn't have any savings because I was 19. I'd like to meet a 19-year-old with like a big lump sum of savings because that's phenomenal. I asked my nan to remortgage her house, and I used the money from her house to buy my first house. So I had no savings.
No, good. And myself, mine was a combination of people I had in my network. So my work colleagues, friends, family put some funds together to put the money I needed. And I had some funds as well, a little bit. I wouldn't say much. But it was pretty much, mostly raised by other people's money. I feel myself out there, say, look, this is what I'm looking to do. And them trusting me with their funds and being able to go away and use their funds to buy something. So that's how I started as well. And the same guy seems watching us really well. So what happened to the car? What happened to your car? You inherited on the property you bought recently. So we finally got rid of that car. That car is now, I don't know where it is, to be honest. I let my build team deal with that. They found someone who was going to take it away. So yeah, I don't know where it is, but it's no longer at the back of the house. So the back of the house, on this 8-bed HMO, I'm going to use the rear of the property, or half the garden, should I say, a piece of land, as a car parking spot. So I'm going to try and create 3 to 4 parking spots at the back of the house. I know you guys commented and said, like, I think 2 parking spaces. I was like, what? I was like, 2 parking spaces, like that's a big space. I think I'm going to try and squeeze 3, like diagonally. It's a weird.
Who's
So one of these here was
it was me. It's because you have to have we know this because we went through it ourselves on a project. You have to have the right turning point in order for the council to class it as a parking space. I'll send you an email, Alfred, with a guy who's really helpful on this, and he's literally doesn't even charge. It's literally, I don't know why he doesn't charge. It's just an email to him, and he'll advise you straight away of what he thinks.
Okay, cool. Because literally what I was going to do is going to get my builder to give me dimensions of the space.
Yeah.
And then literally I was going to try and draw some rectangle squares using the guidelines.
You know what you can do that, or just email him and
yeah, no, I will.
And also, like, we didn't really know that because we looked at when we purchased the building with planning, it already had 7 car parking spaces, and we were looking at it and even went to go and view it. We're like, we can definitely get another couple of spaces in here. And then actually when he broke it down, we were like, oh, like when you start, like, when you start to look at when you're new to property and you'll look at a floor plan and you think, oh, I can definitely get like 10 bedrooms in here, and actually realistically you can only get 8 because
it's more about the turning point,
yeah.
Not the actually. You could probably get 8 spaces in our place, but it's then the other cars can't move, and that's what causes the problem.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I think it's valid points. I just kind of, because it's not like I'm applying for the parking or like I'm trying to get a council approval, because technically the land is the land. All I'm doing is splitting the garden into two and just trying to utilize the space at the rear.
Yeah.
As with our family.
It might just be a case that you can just, if it's just like people can just block each other in sometimes, you know, like
yeah, this is the bit we're talking about as well. So, so potentially you can park more cars there
tomorrow, and we'll send you an email with the guy introduction. I can't even remember his name.
It's just good to know as well. Like for us now, when we look at something, we're aware of how many parts. Like for us, when we're looking at a building, now that you know that piece of information about what they look for, and they go by like a minimum space for a parking space, and I can't even remember off the top of my head what it was, but now you know what it is, because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
no, cheers.
It's good information to have.
No problem.
And I don't know what property by Kaz. What are you trying to say? So can I come?
I have.
Can I come back? Oh, I said, okay, cool. Finish up there. Can I come back? I have a selfie. Like, yeah, bro. We can organize another one. So whenever you're ready, we can do another live.
We don't have a selfie live. I feel like we're really slacking on these things.
No, but I think your lighting is good. Like mine, I feel like I don't know. I've got this yellow back in. I don't know what's going on. I hate it actually. So I don't. Yeah.
You're always really bright, Alfred. I've noticed.
Yeah, cause I've got a light. I've got a ring light, but
I can't.
Yeah.
Is this like a thing that everybody has? Like I'm not.
I feel like tomorrow we need to invest.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys haven't got one so far. So we've got another question here from Nikita. I think that says, "What's your biggest achievement to date?" I don't know what. Yeah, what would you guys say? I need to think about this one.
So we don't. There's two of us. You know, we need to like confer. I don't know. It's just really hard. Like in business, do you know what? There's just so many milestones that I think that you reach that you don't. Like as you grow, you're doing like bigger things or just different things that you never saw coming. So they're all kind of amazing. Like the first one is phenomenal because you don't really ever think that you're going to get a property in the first place. And then when you do, like for instance, for us, that care home conversion was probably one of my favorites, one of something that I thought was a huge deal.
I think as well the goalposts keep changing for us because now we've obviously done that. Okay, so what's next for us? And the kind of this year, like we've really got some really like big goals, and I think achievements are really hard to measure because we continually are challenging ourselves and trying to grow. So I think probably Denton Road is probably our kind of
biggest one
cumulative together, biggest achievement.
Next will be a new build. When we do a new build conversion, that will be like our next big one. I think I think you just have your own milestones, and I think as you're growing in your business, and then just your goals change and you move the goalpost, that process. And
I think as well you have to keep adapting, because for us our biggest like issue right now was COVID and building up a pipeline. So we're trying to like in this space of the first 6 months of this year build up our pipeline, because a lot of our projects are coming to an end, so it affects your kind of your achievements and your goals, and it's kind of a bit more dispersed.
You know, I've got a question off the back of that. So like, how are you guys finding like trying to keep top of your pipeline at the start of this quarter? Like what are your thoughts so far in the market?
It's been an absolute struggle. Like I feel like anyone that's not struggling with their pipeline is doing pretty great, or they were already kind of
had deals from 2020.
Or like, you know, like certain deals take a year or two. In so much effort. And we have to be completely honest that when COVID hit in beginning like March 2020, when we went into lockdown, we weren't really looking for property. It wasn't for us. It wasn't okay. I know like people had different attitudes. It wasn't like, oh, let's continue looking for property. Our attitude was, okay, let's look at our business. Let's consolidate. Let's make sure that we know how much rents we're needing. How many we at that time had 6 live projects. 4 out of the 6 had stopped work. Then we had issues with getting supplies. So a lot of 2020 went on to actually not growing the business for a while. And it was actually just kind of making sure that what we had was secure and just kind of making that a bit tighter.
Yeah.
And then we were a lot more, then I think it was
we did a lot of different things last year as opposed to finding the properties, because it was a little bit harder for us to go. Also, I was affected because my mum had COVID for quite some time, so I couldn't go out of the house and things. So like,
it slowed down. Yeah, we just like when we were allowed back into reality, we were just looking. We even was quite cautious on viewings, etc. At the beginning when we were allowed back out. And I think it was fine, and we're back on it now. But now we're coming to the.
We have 7 projects on at the moment,
but they're all finishing. By end of April, all 7 will be finished.
Okay.
So we're looking for the next. So if anybody has any projects, you let us know.
And what kind of projects are you guys looking for? So kind of anybody on here can kind of get a gauge of what you're looking for.
We're not fussy. We like.
We're not fussy.
As long as the numbers stack, we're open. But essentially, our main focus is commercial conversions at the moment, and we're looking at larger HMOs, whether that be like a big house conversion or kind of an office conversion into HMOs. But we look at everything. Our portfolio is varied, and we're going to continue to be that way for the next couple of years.
We're okay on the residential side. We're our challenge for us this year is the commercial side. So like land conversions, we're looking for anything from about 2,500 square foot to about 10,000 square foot, and up to about a 2 million purchase.
Yep.
No, nice. Yeah, I feel like at the moment it is challenging for sure. Like I feel like the stuff in the market isn't. I don't know. I don't really see much. And to be fair as well, I don't know if you guys are looking all across the country because you invest all across the country. So are you guys actively looking across all the country, or are you kind of picking certain areas to kind of keep your eye on more than others?
Between the both of us, we obviously can't look all across England because we would be killing ourselves. So we have people that we like to work with that look for us in different parts of the country, but predominantly Jasmine and I, we're focusing on like Eastbourne area for commercials and closer to home as well. Surrey, that kind of vibe.
Kind of that black corridor. We're looking like M25 kind of south, really, like into East Sussex. We're not too. When we looked around, I think we've kind of found like a contractor that we really like. We found that like people, the architects that we like, etc. So we're kind of seeing if we can just work within their remit because they make our life so much easier. But you've had enough time. What is your biggest achievement to date? I feel like
I'm so poor. I feel like I'm so poor with like gratitude and like trying to. I don't know. I do something and I kind of move on quickly. I don't really think about it much. It's like it's done. Now what next? So I don't really like. I rarely reflect. So it's like I find it very hard to like reflect back and say, oh, what have I done?
That can be your homework then, Alfred, and we can have a whole post on it tomorrow.
I'm flipping out. No pressure.
homework.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll need to probably sit down and think about it. But I could say like simply where I am today, how things are working out for me. So I don't know. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a hard. I don't know. I find it hard to. Yeah. Anyways.
I feel like you feel uncomfortable.
Not really. No, I wouldn't. Nah, I wouldn't.
Are you sure? You look like you're like answering this question. It looks like it's making you super uncomfortable.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You should reflect. It's so important to reflect back on what you've done and what you've achieved.
Yeah, it's one of my biggest weaknesses. Like I don't know. I just keep looking forward and okay, we've done this. What's next? What's the next thing? Let's knock it down. Next thing. Yeah. So I find it hard to like take time out and I look back and like, okay, what have I done so far? And I don't know. Maybe
I'm a big reflector. I'm like really big on reflecting. I'm really big at like when we finish something, what went well, what went bad, like how could we be better? I think that we do it at the end of every year, obviously, but we're now doing that whole process at the end of every month. So it's now not just like goal setting of what we want to do. It's actually like, what do we feel like went really well this month? Like, what do we feel like we could have been better on? What was I good on? What was I bad on? Same thing with prayer. Like, we look at it, and I think it's super important to do that because I think it's kind of, I found that it fast tracks you a little bit because you pick up your mistakes a lot quicker.
Yeah, no. So like in terms of like lessons learned, that's I think that's like crucial with any business, any type of thing you're doing. I think so. I think when I say reflection, I'm more talking about like what I've achieved, I guess.
Yeah,
but definitely because I'm my background is project management, so like lessons learned. Like any project you do, you want to learn your lessons, what went wrong, what went good, and then streamline the process moving forward onto your next project. So each project technically should be getting better and actually even quicker. Or depending if it's the same time. Say that again?
It's about self-praise more so than reflecting, and you just don't give it to yourself.
Yeah. Basically.
Is it like looking in a mirror?
Anyway.
Are you both the same, I guess, then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people find it easy to do it. I don't. I find it hard. I generally find it hard. And I know it's something I need to work on, but I just keep moving forward, and I just not take. I don't look back basically. There's been a few questions coming as well, but I'm just going to quickly scroll back up. Guys, please, if you can use the question box, it just makes it easier to kind of keep track of the comments. But Kaz was saying, I think business consolidation is an amazing answer. Using time proactively can make you as much money as pipeline sometimes. It's true. That's very true. And then Andrea's asking, what's the latest purchase? What's it going to be? I'm guessing that's referring to me. It's a 4-bedroom house, which we're going to convert to 7-bedroom HMO. 3 studios are going to be in there and 4 double ensuite rooms. I'm going to release in a video next week, I think, on my YouTube channel, kind of showcasing what it is currently today and what we intend to do to it. Like a quick walkthrough of the property. And then go on for Viresh, good to reflect, if nothing else, for learning. Yep, totally agree. Property by Kazi again. Have either of you thought about roof space deals?
Actually, we're looking at something currently very close to home, which we're quite interested in, and it's essentially converting Airspace into one flat. It's a small project, but it's new to us, and it's so we are looking into it. It's new territory, but it needs a lot more research, and we're still kind of laying the foundations for it, but we are looking into it. We
look at it a lot more in like our commercial conversions as well on existing buildings.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, we've got a question. So what areas are you looking to invest in for 2021?
Me or us or Alfred?
We'll do both. So for me, this year, I started off thinking I'm going to do a bit of maybe potentially some flat conversions. So I remember I messaged you guys about a flat conversion I was looking at.
Yeah.
And the numbers weren't stacking, so I left it. And to be fair, I felt like after doing that exercise, I felt like I was just being distracted. I've got a model that works, and I can just kind of replicate it. So to be fair, in terms of what I want to do in property, like, I don't really feel like I need to kind of look at other strategies. I can just do a few more HMOs and be like happy with that. And just now, from a property point of view, like, do big deals. And from my point of view, my involvement will be to leverage a developer who's done loads of things and maybe utilize my network in terms of raising finance to bring the money to the table and allow me to focus on business acquisition, because that's where I want to go, like, in the next 12 months. Property become a kind of a secondary thing, and it'll just be like injecting capital into those projects and kind of letting the developers run with it. And I'm going to focus on literally my day-to-day trying to find businesses to buy, acquire and develop those businesses. So I'm not too... So I kind of stopped the flat stuff again. I was like, nah, leave it. Just focus a few more HMOs and be done with the HMO stuff. And then that's it. On to the bigger stuff. So yeah, for me to answer simply, I'm sticking to my HMOs. 6, 7, 8, whatever the number is. Could be a large HMO, 2, whatever it is. But it'll be HMO conversions basically. So what about you guys?
There's nothing really in the pipeline. We're looking at a couple of things down south. Nothing has come. What's the word I'm looking for?
To fruition.
Fruition, yeah. So we're just in conversations.
A lot of research. Commercial deals take us quite some time to research after reviewing, literally sometimes a week and a half, to kind of make sure we're tight with everything. Yeah. And then put in the offer, and then it's a longer process than just residential.
Yeah, because you can't just go out and put. Well, you could, but
you could. But I always say, so my viewpoint with putting an offer in, you could put a number in, get them to kind of take everybody else, eliminate everybody else in the game, get your offer accepted. And even if the numbers change, they're now in embedded you basically. And for you, it's now.
We do that as well. But even whilst the offer's in, then we need to make sure whilst the offer's in that we've spoken to architect, who've done there's so many moving parts to it. It's not kind of.
For instance, we're looking at a project at the moment, and it's currently there's already a build there. There's already a building there, but there's so much land to it. And it's a new area for us, so we've got to look with an architect, and we've got to wait. And it's so much in money that we would need to make sure that we're safe. But we've also used this agent a couple of times, so for us to put an offer in and then back out really makes us look quite bad, and we're just not those people. And I think commercial agents hold a grudge a little bit more than a resi agent, and you would find that. When you go to an area, you'll find like 10, 15 agents, like estate agents in the area. With commercial, there'll be like one agent.
Yeah, there'll be a few.
So once you've burned that bridge, you're going to struggle to get back
in. You're screwed in that area, basically.
Yeah. But as we were talking on Tuesday, we're actually looking to purchase off a couple of local councils, and their process is so slow. So we're looking to buy from them a little bit. That's kind of our new way of looking, but
it just takes time.
Yeah.
And at the moment, we also have so many projects on at the moment that it's kind of just juggling act, isn't it? Like finding new projects, managing what you've got, and kind of
yeah.
And
so let me ask a blunt question. Come April, are you guys sitting on cash?
I mean, I feel like you want the cash, or you want money from us.
I'll ask, it's a simple question, yes or no.
Well, if a project comes to fruition, then no. If it doesn't, then maybe.
So I was just yes, guys.
No,
fair enough.
You know what? I personally have lent out money, like whilst I've had projects going on, and then my lesson learned from that, it was fine. It was not a big deal.
Yeah.
But then when you need it,
that's the issue for us.
That's where it gets tricky.
We like to be quite agile, and it's quite difficult to be flexible when we don't have like we've got 6-7 projects going on at one go. Our money is split at the moment, so we have to like free some of it up. It kind of goes against what we're wanting to do. So yeah, we should have some money, but it doesn't mean that it's there to be taken.
And in April, I think we can start going on holiday as well. So
say that again.
I said in April we can start going on holiday.
May.
Oh, May, we can start going on holiday too.
She's basically trying to blow all the money on a holiday.
Well, if you guys are going to go on holiday, I don't know, lend me some money for them, or however long you guys are going for, and then we'll go from there when you're
I'm
back.
going for a week.
Maybe.
Where you guys thinking of going, though?
I'm actually not going in. I'm going to go on a honeymoon, essentially in the summer, hopefully, but nothing before that.
I'm going to get anywhere.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm kind of, I do want to go on holiday, but I'm just thinking, you know what, just see the whole year out. I'm definitely going, I'm hoping to go to Dubai, November, and then Ghana, I normally go December. I missed last year, I cancelled my ticket, but this year, I don't care, whatever happens, I'm going to be in Ghana. I'll make sure whatever I'm doing by end of the year, basically, I'm sorted, and I can go enjoy it. I'll be out for like a month.
Right.
So 2021, I think 2022, I'm probably going to be traveling a lot more. I feel like once I've got a few projects out of the way, I feel like 2022 potentially it could just be a year of traveling. I don't know.
Amazing.
Say that again.
So that's amazing.
Yeah, I just want to take. Yeah, just want to try. I do want to like. I love networking, meeting new people, socializing, going to other countries, exploring other cultures, the food. So I really enjoy like just seeing new places basically. So I'd love to kind of get back into that. Like I used to travel like pretty much 4 times a year. Now like last year I think I went 2 places and that was it. Cancelled Dubai, cancelled Ghana. This year I don't care. Whatever happens, I'm going. I'm going to be somewhere apart from UK for sure.
I'm with you on that. I'm out of it as soon as I'm allowed. I'm out.
Cool. We've got a few more questions. So we've got one. What tips would you give to someone that wants to leave 9 to 5 and go full time to property? This is one of those questions where I feel like it depends, because I always go back to the question. So why is it that you've made the decision that you want to leave your 9 to 5 and go full time to property? Because sometimes I feel like it's not always the answer isn't always to leave your current role. It's just circumstance, what you're trying to achieve. You can potentially do the two. Because what people forget as well is like when you step into the full-time space of property and investing, if you haven't really got like a routine or built a pipeline of deals, you're pretty much just kind of you're literally. I remember when I first I think I don't know, back in last year April, I actually came to a realization like each day I'm not making any money. So because I'm doing HMOs, it takes about 6 months to kind of go through each deal. But when I was in the contracting world, I used to get paid every 2 weeks. So it's like you've gone from seeing income coming in every 2 weeks to now like every day there's no money coming in whatsoever. Like obviously I have a little thing. I don't really class them. They're not substantial enough for me to kind of class them as real money coming in. So for me it was like it really dawned on me like I need to actually create some income in the interim, and that's why the mastermind thing came up. So I kind of created a mastermind from that, just to kind of have something extra. while I kind of do the property stuff on the side as well. So I feel like when you do leave, if you do decide you want to leave your work, one, just have a plan, actual plan, like a 12-month plan of what you're looking, the outlook of that year is, to kind of have like a goal to kind of work towards. But if you just kind of leave your work and you're going to do property full time, you're not going to try and figure things out, and it's not smooth. Like, it's difficult, it's challenging. A deal might not land in your lap for the next 6 months, and you just quit your job. So I think definitely maybe have a deal or two, either one started and the second one about to complete on, does a purchase in it, or have a pipeline basically.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's so much about property as it is like someone could be earning $3,000 a year, someone could be earning a month even, and someone could be earning like 10 grand a month. Like what are your responsibilities and how much support do you have behind you? What's your age? Like that these are all, what are your actual bills in a month? You might need like you might realistically need like 3 or 4 years to get out. Just like work backwards. And don't just jump out, like Alfred said, and then have nothing to like fall back on. It's so important to be safe. Like if you're in a stable income, for you to just leave your job. Also, like some people are working 9 to 5, but actually they're working like 8 till 10. So how much time do you even have available to kind of start doing property on the side?
I think you always need a clear plan and structure, and also essentially a lot of people say, oh, I got X amount of deals in 1 year. But how many months has it taken you to kind of build those deals into actual action? Yeah. That takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. No. So you need a real clear plan and structure, understand what you need to achieve and what you want to achieve, and then work backwards over a time period. Because as Alfred said, I come from a very similar background to you, that when you start in property, you're sitting sometimes 6, 7 months with no income at the start, because it's just life. It is what you are where you are. But have you factored that into your plan, or kind of it needs to be well balanced and make sure that you're kind of protected and safe and that you know what you're doing, because it's not easy, especially in today's market. Things are flying off the shelf, or if they're not selling, there's always 101 dramas with them, and essentially you can figure them out, but it's going to take time. Everything in property takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
The whole process is so slow.
And I feel like finding your feet, coming out of the corporate world and kind of running your own life, basically, that took me a while as well. Like, I was like, okay, so today, what am I doing today? I have no idea. Okay, I woke up this morning, I worked out, okay, like, what do I do now?
I think
struggle with that. Like, it was like foreign to me that I could just do what I want when I want, essentially, and work when I want. Because essentially when you work corporate, you're told to work between 9 and 5 or whatever your hours may be. It's then those are the hours, and if you're not working those hours, you're not productive. It's like counterproductive to you. But it's actually working smart and efficiently is much better than saying I work from 9 till 6 or whatever. It's just strange.
I took to it like a duck to water. I loved it. I love like I think you have to be very self-disciplined. And you have to be super motivated for what you're doing. And I think if you've got those two things, I think you're fine. But I took to it like a duck to water. I absolutely loved managing my own time. I hate to be told what to do. Really annoys me. That's great for me.
Yeah, I think from just that point, then it's also good to understand yourself. Who are you as an individual? How do you work best? That will kind of give you clarity of what it would take for you to kind of run your own life, basically your own business, coming out of the corporate world.
What you want to achieve in property as well, like what strategy do you want? How long is it going to take you to get there? Are you jumping into a commercial conversion? How much money do you have behind you? We can't answer those. It's so personal.
Yeah.
And all dependent upon them, the individual. Sorry, I don't remember the name.
It's Nyasha, actually goes by Afro-nomic something. I don't know what that says. So we've got another question. Where's it gone? So it says, what area would you say is a good area to buy your first buy-to-let? Would you say north of England is better? I don't know who you are. I think it's Sajid. Yeah, but I'm assuming you're either more down south and you're probably looking at buying few properties up north. I mean, for me, you can say buy-to-lets work everywhere. I always say this up to the investor. How do you want your numbers to work? What kind of returns are you looking for? That will determine what location in the country you want to go to, the funds they have available to get into the deal. All these things are determining factors of where would work. But to be fair, buy to let's pretty much, as long as you're buying in a rental area where it's not like everybody owns the house on the street, basically works.
Yeah.
So buy to lets are quite straightforward. So I guess just understand how much money you have, what kind of returns you want, and by looking at the areas, you can kind of work out what kind of property prices are, what kind of deposit you need to kind of invest in that area, and then what's your rental income, and then work out what's your return on your investment. And if that's good for you, then you do it. If it's not, you look elsewhere till you find what matches your requirements.
Yeah, 100%.
And also the time you want to spend traveling as well, because that's a huge aspect. I don't know where he lives, but obviously he needs to figure out, does he actually want to sit in a car for 2 hours to go and find a buy-to-let in the north of London if he's based in London? I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes like it's not even too much. People divide the country up like it's just north and south, but like there's the Midlands, like there's the West, there's the Northeast. Like you can go to Kent, you can go into like Essex area and get some good deals. Like it's literally not just two parts of our country. And I also don't know where everybody draws the line, what's north, what's south.
I swear, London people, anything after the M25 is north to them. Like I had a friend ask me, "Oh, are there stations in Coventry?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Are there stations? Of course there is." I'm like, "What?" I think everybody's like, just I don't know what they think of outside of London. Like I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah.
Yeah,
everyone in London.
There are definitely places, like different places in the UK that are good. You just got it's very specific, and everybody's got this is the one thing I kind of hate about property, right? Is because everybody has such strong opinions on like their area or their strategy, and it sometimes when they've got such a strong opinion on their own, it means that they're almost kind of taking away from another strategy. And I think what people then like lose focus on is actually property is very, very individual. Like it's not corporate. It's very bespoke to you, and you should be making it fit around your lifestyle and what you actually want to get from it. Like Alfred doesn't want to stay in property forever in terms of like growing himself. He wants to go into businesses. So he could easily go and change strategies, but for him, that's not his end goal. So that doesn't make any sense for him. So you've got to kind of bespoke it to yourself and not go via what everybody else is telling you. If someone's telling you to go into a buy-to-let in South Wales because that's where they're doing it, great. But there could also be a better opportunity for you and what you want and your money, your family, your goals.